Okay, now then, on to square rooting of negative numbers. Now remember, we've always said that we can't do this, we can do this, we can't do this. We always used to write the answer is not a real number. So we didn't say it was actually impossible, we just used to say, not that you can't square root negatives, but the answer is it's not a real number. Because what we're going to be dealing with is like complex numbers, all right, imaginary numbers. And this is how you do the square root of negative 9. Now I'm going to show you a little explanation here. Okay, so pretend it's not negative. Remember this, okay. If I want to square root an 8, I split it into two things, okay, 1, 2, but one of which I can square root, okay. So the answer is 2 root 2, okay. So the square root of 8 can be written as 2 root 2. Well, this is how you can write the square root of negative 9, okay. So when you do this, 9 times negative 1. Alright, so there we go. That is a negative 9 split up into a 9 and a negative 1. That's still negative 9. Now, of course, we can square root the 9 now. That's 3. But what we do now is we define the square root of negative 1 as the letter I. Alright? Hence the whole question, right, in terms of I. So the square root of negative 9 is 3i. Okay, a little dot on there. That is the square root of negative 9. So honestly, really, the shortcut really is pretend it's not negative, just square root it and then put an I in there. So the square root of negative 36 is 6i. Okay? If I keep going down, the square root of negative 400 is 20i. Okay, so things I can square root. Now, some of the other ones, like the negative 160, I can't immediately square root, or 120, I can't really square root that yet. I have to break it down like I did with the square root of 8. So let's just do find some space here, okay? Let's just erase some of this. As long as you get the idea that really it's all about, pretend it's positive, you can square root it, but then put an I in there, alright? But honestly, it's kind of where to put the I. So, I'll do a list of ones. Okay, so remember, the square root of negative 9 is 3, but we write an I. The square root of negative 8. Okay? Well, remember, if I just did an 8, remember from the previous little bit I did, the square root of 8 is 2 root 2. That's what the square root of 8 is when I simplify it. All you have to do is put an I in there, but it's where you put the I. Okay, here it is. There we go. Okay, so again, all I've done is put an I in there because it's a negative 8 rather than a positive 8. But we always put it before the root sign or just after the real number part. So here we go. Here it is. It's after the real number part. Here, it's after the real number part or before the root part. So if I do one more, suppose I do the square root of negative 7. Now I can't do anything with the square root of 7 but write the square root of 7. Okay? But again, because it's negative, I've got to put the I in there. Now it just goes here. Okay? Again, before the root. So look over here, before the root or after the real number part, okay? So that's how you do those. That's how you square root negative numbers. Think about just pretending it's positive and then put an I in there, okay? But it's where to put the I, be careful.